Hello, everyone. So, welcome to the second episode of the Mirror Moments. And today we have Kanika with us. She's an educator and firm believer in spirituality and a very, very good friend of mine. So, thank you so much, Kanika, for joining with us.
Thank you, Ripple, for having me.
Great. So, Kanika, if you had to describe yourself in three words, what would they be?
So, I would describe in three words that is authentic, dreamer, and believer.
Oh, wow, that is something very unique words. Dreamer, authentic. Great. So when you talk about your spiritual journey, so was there any defining moment in your journey?
Um, so I think, I think when we are born, um, everybody has their spiritual life started then and there, right? So for me also, my spiritual life started when I was born. But yes, when I got to know about I got connected with spirituality was that moment, which was the hardest in my life when my mother was discovered by she was diagnosed by cancer. And it was the most heartbreaking time of my life at that time. It was at that time, I had a lot of pain inside, yet there was one element in my heart that was saying that that there is some hope to some, to life. And I could feel a lot of stones burden on my heart, but yet I had that belief that something will take care of the life that we are having in our family. So I think that is spirituality for me, to be able to believe in the universe, that even in our most heartbreaking moments we can still trust on life. So that is spirituality for me.
Wow, that is something really beautiful. And I think, like you said, that how hope and belief is so much connected with spirituality, right? And I think for you, that is the main element. So, do you think that in today's world, that spirituality is often misunderstood in this fast-paced world?
So I don't know about the misunderstanding part, because I think we all experience life based on our experiences, and we understand things based on our experiences only. But in our fast-paced life, yes, spirituality element is missing. How I feel that is because we when someone is facing with a problem right now, so we are so busy in our lives that we want quick solutions, like quick fix to every solution, to every problem. So when we search for quick fixes, we don't go deep into ourselves. We don't get to know what is right for me. We just want quick fixes, and it is just for that moment. And after that moment is passed, we are again faced with the same thing, which we don't realize, because for us in our head that problem is already solved. So why it is coming again and again? So I think there is that part where the spirituality element is missing in this, yeah, like you said, fast paced life. Yeah.
Yeah, that is very interesting actually. That uh, we just want quick fix. Like when people go, take help of alcohol or drugs or any sort of, distraction or going into from one relationship to another relationship, those are like quick fixes, right? We don't actually analyze and we don't
Yes.
go deep within. Yeah, so that really makes sense. So, Kanika, in your life, what is that one habit or ritual which you can't go without?
So that one ritual is meditation. When I know I have 5 minutes, even if I have 15 minutes, whatever time that I get, I make sure that I sit in silence and just meditate, focus on my breath for at least 5 minutes. Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's, I think even I've heard from a lot of, spiritual gurus and everyone that meditation is something so important. It changes the whole mechanism of our brain,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Yes. So, like you being an educator, do you think that there should be like, how can we bring that spiritual element in the school for the children?
Okay. Um, So I think, but before that, I would like to say that the spirituality is very important nowadays, because as we see, there are a lot of problems, and there are also a lot of mental health problems that we all are facing. Even I have faced it a lot of times. So I think spirituality is something which can contribute a lot to that part where our society is facing problems. How is like, for example, we all are different human beings. We are all are unique human beings. So our problems are also very unique, right? If you see the like every leaf of a single tree is very unique. It is not similar to any other leaf, right? So when God created us in such a unique way, I think we as humans we are looking for answers which serves to a larger part of our society, which is not very convincing, or maybe it is not very workable when we see. I think for solving our problems, our mental health problems, we can solve it in just one unique way, which is our way. So, and for that, spirituality is very important, because when we sit down in silence, when we listen to our things, what we are feeling, what our heart is saying, and what the actual problem is, then we get to know that. Once we listen to our problem, half of the problem is already solved, because we have analyzed, we have understood what exactly it is. And the rest half of it we can solve with the spirituality by listening to it, and by actually working on the parts which is necessary for it, not by listening to other person who thinks what is right for our problem.
Hmm.
So I think that uniqueness is only available with this spirituality. And yes, we can add an element of spirituality in our curriculums in school by just simply allowing every child, to have a free time where they don't have to follow anything, any curriculum, any instructions. They are just sitting with the nature and just observing it, and just through observation which is in the nature, they can observe themselves, because when we sit in nature we connect it to ourselves, and when we connect it to ourselves we get to know ourselves better. So I think that is very important, and that can be brought in every school curriculum, is what I
So you
think.
was like you firstly mentioned that how is like spirituality solves a lot of mental health issues, right, in the society. And I think
Yes.
the beginning of the mental health issues, and it's like from the school, right? Like that's like our beginning of where we have social interaction. And you mentioned that some quiet time, some amount of silence with the nature, it's very important for the children. So,
Yes.
so do you think that, like, when children or any adult is sitting in the silence and spending more time in the nature, their problem solving skills or the way they see the problems, it changes somehow?
Yes. I think more than the problem solving, it builds trust in ourselves that, like we all know that intellectually that every day has an end and every night has an end. Likewise, because we trust nature that it changes every time, every day
Hmm.
and night. That trust brings a lot of solutions in ourselves. Like, for
Yeah.
example, if I'm facing something, I will say that, tomorrow this will not be there, because tomorrow this is another day. So likewise we can trust in ourselves that, this, I know that this problem is there, I know it can be solved in certain ways, but I also know that after a time it will be solved. So that trust
Hmm.
is very important in a
Yeah.
human being. to build that foundation to everything that we are doing in our life.
So, so it will only come when we are more connected spirituality with the nature, with the silence, that hope, that belief, that that attitude that every day is a new day and this too shall pass. We sometimes it
This
happens,
too
we
shall.
all know this quote, right? This too shall pass, this too shall pass. But it only happens in real when we are more connected within our own self, right? That's where we
Yes.
can actually feel that quote and we can actually exercise that in our life.
Yes.
Yes.
And saying it is one part, and actually believing it in our core is different. So when we
True.
actually believe in the core, all the energy that flows, it flows to that core and to that belief, and it builds that uh that trust. So yeah.
Hmm. Wow. So if I have to tell you that what is like one thing, like one single thing, which you can just say in one line, which every school should follow, just for adding a very small element of spirituality in their curriculum, what would be that one thing?
I would say give your children to a time with nature, to
Wow.
connect with the nature
Every day, sometime with nature.
every day. Yes. Yes.
Wow. Wow. Amazing. So, Kanika, like we'll move to the next last question of the day. What is the one thing you do to reconnect with yourself on tough days? Like you said that we every day is not the same day. What is the one thing which you do?
So when I have tough days, earlier I used to run away from those days. I used to feel anxious. But now I've started to welcome that feeling too, because it is a part of me. And only when I welcome it, it will pass. So that's the first and foremost thing that I do when I feel it's a tough day or a rough day for me. Yeah.
So basically, just sitting and accepting the way you are feeling and not judging
Yes.
it. Like, why am I feeling? I should not feel this way. Just pure acceptance.
Pure acceptance. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Amazing. I think like you said some few amazing things, very self-reflective things which you said, and I'm sure whoever will listen to you, they are going to feel a lot inspired and to apply those things in their life. So thank you so much, Kanika, for joining us. Is there anything? Lastly, would you like to say anything else before we end?
Yes, I would like to say to all our viewers that it's not just me. So I also have this friend, a very special friend, Ripple, who is also a very self-reflective girl, and you should follow her. You should subscribe to her channel and keep watching us. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much, Kanika, for joining us.
Bye.
Bye.